All right, Michael, George, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Give me a good, clean fight. And bear one thing in mind. I'm the boss man in here. Take hands, good luck.
There was a deafening roar for George Foreman when he was introduced. A good-sized cheer, but some boos mixed in for Michael Moore. Foreman clearly the sentimental favorite here this evening. And there Teddy Atlas right in the face of Michael Moore with last-minute instructions.
Well, and I got to tell you, they really got that.
大家好，老师从业中医男科30余年，帮助了数千名海内外华人朋友通过中药调理重回男性雄风。如果你也存在房事时间短、勃起无力、硬度差、中途疲软、肾虚、前列腺炎等问题，现在就加中医老师微信574-993-200，纯中药，一人一方，治根治本，帮助你持续坚挺20至40分钟，补肾壮阳，延时助勃，彻底告别快男软男。记住微信574-993-200。
Faster than he did in his fight against Tommy Morrison, and perhaps go a little bit more for broke in this bout. Foreman very calm, one of the most relaxed fighters you will ever see in boxing.
I got to tell you though, Rich, it looks like he's put on 10-15 pounds since the weigh-in. George does not look. You know, remember they weighed in 2 days early for this fight. They weighed in on Thursday afternoon. It's been more than 48 hours since the weigh-in.
Maybe George figured he was going to get in great shape right up until the weigh-in. Now we will see as Moore is trying to stay close. He's not using a lot of lateral movement here. He's staying within punching range of Foreman. And it would be interesting to see if Foreman tries to use the push-it-off technique that he's been successful with in the past.
Well, at the moment, Foreman is not fighting cross-armed like he normally does. He's fighting from, I wouldn't even call it a peekaboo stance. It's just a traditional boxing stance. He doesn't have his arms crossed. Moore is establishing the jab, and as you said, fighting on the inside, looking just to double up on that jab and then come in with that great left of his.
This perhaps the first surprise that Foreman has not come out real fast here in round number 1. And Moore right in front of him, where hardly anybody expected him to be.
Well, surprisingly enough, too, Moore only has a 1-inch reach deficiency in this. George has had very little reach. He's got the big weight advantage, 2-inch height, but Michael's standing right in there, landing that jab at will. George looks very tentative and very slow.
Trying to keep Moore away there, just using his arms as a defensive tool. Now Foreman snaps the jab out. There's the first right hand by Foreman. It followed a left jab. Crowd roars. To little effect, though. Moore has been knocked down 4 times in his career, but has always gotten up and always won.
Those knockdowns coming from Everett Martin, Bert Cooper, and of course the last time against Evander Holyfield for a knockdown that judged tonight. Jerry Roth, who judged that fight, only got to see that round as a 10-10 round in spite of the fact that Moore was on the floor.
There's again the left-right combination by Foreman, but that right hand going in fairly slowly, and he still reaches Moore. George's punch is very slow so far. Bell ends round 1.
And that was a good right hand at the end of the round by Moore, who, for those of people who don't know, he's a converted righty fighting southpaw, as opposed to normally you hear the other way around, a converted southpaw.
Well, Dundee, you could read his lips there saying, you've got to knock him down. You're behind, baby.
Well, how about behind 9 rounds to 0? It's going to take more than a knockdown to put him back in this fight, at least on my unofficial scorecard.
Well, so you might be able to make a argument for George for 1 round there, or 2 perhaps, but where they were fairly close. But obviously he is well behind, and he's got to pick it up. Angelo Dundee, of course, was in a similar situation with Muhammad Ali against Larry Holmes, a guy well past his prime, taking on a champion in his prime. Ali got into cosmetic, beautiful shape. Everybody saw Ali, and they all went running to the betting windows to bet on him, driving the odds down, much the way that the odds were driven down on this fight when they saw Foreman look in reasonable shape. And now George, following the advice of Angelo Dundee, has come out here strong in round number 10. Looking to land that right. There's a left hook that he finally landed tonight. You know, that's a tremendous punch for George when he can land it, but it hasn't been there for him.
Very tough punch, though, to land against the southpaw, Rich. And that takes a big part of George's arsenal away, but at his age, did he really take the time, though, to work on something else that would work against the southpaw as some other challenger might do? He just figured it's another fighter, left-handed, right-handed, this is the way I fight. And like you said,
there's the left hook from Foreman. That one rattled Moore a little bit. And another punch from Foreman and another left hook. And Moore's leg actually slipped out from underneath him. So again, I think Moore has felt the power of Foreman, what power is left even in round 10 of a fight in which he is desperately behind. And Teddy Atlas concerned in the corner.
Well, another reason that the left hook is landing is Teddy said to Michael, move all the time to your right now and stay away from the right hand. So George had to adapt, and there he goes. He's walking into the left hook.
George Foreman enjoying his best round of the fight here in round 10. There's a right hand. Down goes Moore. He's flat on his back. He may not get up.
Not maybe. He's not moving.
Moore could be about to lose the heavyweight title.
I don't believe this.
Joe Cortez pulls up the count. It is over.
Holy
and George Foreman has pulled off the miracle that no one thought possible. George Foreman
Moore's
has done it.
Still down. Moore cannot get up. He's still down. He doesn't know where he is. He's bleeding from the nose. He walked into a picture-perfect left-right combination.
And unbelievable, a stunning finish.
Listen to it,
10 rounds of a heavyweight championship fight that has left this MGM Grand crowd of nearly 15,000 in total disbelief. George Foreman was picking up steam from the moment that 10th round began, Arnie, and he never let up.
Angelo Dundee said to him between rounds, you got to do something, kid. You're behind on points. We talked about whether he would have the motivational problem. Mora kept moving to his right. Teddy Atlas said, move only to your right. Stay out of the way of the right hand. Foreman started landing that left hook. Landed a picture-perfect left-right.
The winner, and once again, heavyweight champion of the world, Big George
Incredible, startling, stunning moments in the history of sport.
I mean, we're sitting here with a situation, unofficially, I virtually had it a shutout at that point for Michael Moore. Maybe marginally George Foreman had won 1 or 2 rounds. I've got to tell you, though, that
There's Big George. He's totally exhausted himself.
Oh.